Hello, I think I'm live. Yay. Okay, so hey everybody, I'm Lily. I am True Crime Kangaroo, and this is my first live. So I'm excited to be here. And really, this is there's not a schedule or agenda. I just wanted to go live because I can. I'm busting at the seams to start doing like more lives, a couple a week and build my audience and reach, hopefully reach and hopefully you'll be watching one day or soon or now. There's no one watching yet. That's okay. Because I have been obsessed with true crime for ages, as long as I can remember. And it's kind of like that interest has it's kind of changed a lot over the years. And I think that's because of the way that true crime is, like the stories are told is kind of, it's been a kind of constant transformation. I think Serial Podcast was probably, it's the first time in my memory that I can think back and go, oh my goodness, when I was like obsessed with something, because it was so much easier, from there on in, like podcasts and stuff, to be able to really dive deep. And then or Making a Murderer, maybe even, like that was, I mean, how many years ago was that? Like 10 years. Anyway, right now, long story short, I am like so wanting to just chat about the Karen Reid case with anybody. Like, it's so consuming and mind blowing that it's like, yeah, it, so I will, we'll get into that. But this is really underwhelming, isn't it? Oh, we have one person. If you can hear me, please just say hi in the chat. It's my first live. I really just want somebody to confirm that they can hear me and that you can see me and that it's yeah. So if you could just be so kind, hi, or like the video or something, just so that I can see and confirm that this video is working. And so if you could do that, I'm like going to ask you until you do it now. The one person, I can see how many are watching, and there's one. So you are my first live viewer. So congratulations to both of us. And the other thing is too, right, is like, I'm assuming, because I can see it, that when you chat to, like you are in the chat, I can see the chat, which sounds like super kind of retarded. Now we have two, because that would be obvious. Please, if you're coming in, hi, I'm Lily. I'm excited, but this is my first live stream, and I really don't know if you guys can hear me, what you can see, and so I'm just looking for some feedback. If you can like the video or say hi in the chat, just to confirm, or yes as in yes, I can see you, Lil. Yes, I can hear you. That would be amazing. So anyway, the Karen Reid trial, we've just finished week 3. It is like, it's mind blowing, and I don't even know where to start now that I'm live. It's like constantly on my mind. I'm always watching other people's streams, whether it's like, so I found Turtle Boy at the same time that I found Karen Reid. And so when I did discover it back in December, I think I saw Turtle Boy on, like, he was a speaker on one of the other kind of, can't even remember which one it was. He was on a panel, right? And it was a bit controversial because I remember it might have even been one with, like, dare I say, like, Wendy Murphy, or I don't think it was Coffee Duffer. Anyway, you're still watching, and I'm so grateful. Can you please like say something in the chat? Let me have a go. I'm going to say, can you hear me? This is so fun. I'm so excited. Let's go. So I have chatted. So the chat is working for me. Um, and so, yeah, and then as soon as I saw him, like I went to his YouTube after watching this segment on Karen Reid, I went to Turtle Boy Live and I thought, oh no, I have seen this dude before. And I thought, yep, I've seen this guy because I remember seeing somewhere along the way him with the loudspeaker, like the thing. I don't know, use them at sports carnivals. Um, they're not called the same thing in America, blowhorn or something. I think he called it. Anyway, whatever. Um, and there was like kind of, it wasn't anywhere near the amount of supporters on the courthouse steps that we have today, but there are. I remember him just being on the steps with the loudspeaker, and there being like, I don't know, maybe like 20 or 30 kind of people with signs, and I'm like, ah. And I remember thinking, this guy's a bit weird, like Turtle Boy. And everybody says that. I love it when people give their honest reactions of like where their first impressions of him, because it's also true. I think if anyone was like, yeah, no, completely normal for someone, a grown man, to call himself Turtle Boy. And then like I started anyway. So I was like, oh, I remember seeing something about this a while ago, but it obviously didn't hook me then. And so I went and I started watching Canton Cover Up playlist over at Turtle Boy's channel. Now, prior to that, in December, I had been like obsessed with the Dan Markel murder, which is where Charlie Adelson. So he had his trial last year in September, I think, and he is the third person so far to actually be found guilty and convicted of Dan Markel's murder, and that's in Tallahassee in Florida. And I got so into that, and I still am. And we've got Donna Adelson's trial coming up in September too, I think. Anyway, and so I was kind of looking because it was getting a bit, it was over now. Like Charlie had been convicted, and yeah, so he's in prison now. I actually wrote him in prison. I wrote to him, and he actually did write back. And I wrote to Catherine as well, and they wrote back. And I haven't written back to them because I actually, yeah, my brother was like, Lil, like, yeah, cool, but like, why are we writing to convicted unalivers in America? And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying hi. It was literally like, hey, yeah, and just like I was just being honest. I actually might write back, because that might be something that you guys are interested in seeing. And I remember like Catherine McBenower, she said to me, she's like, because I think I said to her, what did she think? I asked her about Donna, and she was like, no, obviously we don't have access to the internet, which I kind of knew, but they're so restricted with news, even, like access to general media. She's like, feel free to send me screenshots because, like, you can send. So, and then I kind of backed off a little bit, and then, a few weeks later, I found Turtle Boy and the Karen Reid case. And it was awesome because I just thought, oh, yes, like there is so much content. This is going to be like super ultimate binge. And how good is like binging? And I feel like, if you follow anything really, but particularly like true crime, it's kind of always ebbing and flowing. And the massive, like, we've got Chad Daybell on at the moment as well, as Karen Reid, totally taken a backseat for me. Karen Reid is just always at the like top of my mind. And luckily, so lucky that there are so many streamers that are covering it, and such a beautiful community of streamers. The Glera, Will is just like, I love him. I'm so excited. And like, I'm so excited, Will, not that, I mean, if you do watch this, to do like what you do. I'm literally going to copy. No, I'm not, but I am a little bit. It's called inspiration, like your little clips, because they just crack me up so much. And I love that when you put the clips in, it's at the time, like that, and obviously thousands of other of your members and viewers, you have such a cool sense of humor. And when you do it, it's like perfect timing, and they're so, like, the Sopranos ones are my favorite, and obviously, I'm retarded. Like, it's so good. So I really love, and Glera for me is like, he's like hanging out with a mate, and I kind of, that's how I kind of want to be, because full disclaimer, and just a heads up, like, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a journalist, I'm like just Lil. And I'm from Australia. And so when I was thinking about my channel name, I thought I want it to be obvious that I'm from Australia, but I also didn't want it to be like, Aussie and true crime, because it's like, no, kind of seems like it's restricted to Australian true crime. And although I will eventually cover some, it's so much harder here to cover true crime, but, unless they're like 50 years old and you can access the transcripts, which you still have to go and get from like the archives place, an hour and a half. Like, it's, yeah, the very limited amount of information. So I can't, yeah, there's limited amount, and I kind of like to dig deep and see the documents and read the documents and highlight stuff and put things together and go back and forth. So Karen Reid case has just been like deliciously, you know, handing documents and things. There's just so much to look at and read through and analyze and reconcile. If you think of the documents, and then all of the live court hearings, like pre-trial motions, court hearings, and then all of Turtle Boy's stuff, because I have spent hours on stuff, right? And I love doing it anyway, where I'm like, wait, surely there's some, or who's this? And I'll spend hours, and I'll be like, 3 hours later, I'll be like, oh, actually, I'll just check TV Daily News, because, and I search, and then like 4 articles come up where Turtle Boy's already done all this stuff. And I've even found things, and I'm like, oh, I'll save that. Like, how interesting. He knew her or she knew him. And then I'll spend 4 hours on this like loop and deep diving and stuff. And then I'll go to Turtle Boy, TV Daily News, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah. So anyone, and there are people in Facebook groups and stuff that I see them, they're like, where should I go to, start from the beginning with the Karen Reid case? And you do need to. You could watch the trial if you want, but if it was me and I didn't know, I would not start at the trial. I'd start with Framed, which is it's like a 32-minute overview that Turtle Boy did. And then from the date there, because I think he only did that in August, but so much has happened between August and the start of trial. So I would watch Framed, and then I would watch as many Kenton cover-up episodes as you can between after Framed and now. And then I'd watch the trial. So, so I'm going to show you, because I want to like have a play and a muck around, and I know I tend to go on tangents, so I will actually like have agendas for my future lives and stuff. This was just I want to test StreamYard. I want to see if everything works. I'm really hoping that you guys can hear me, because I did ask, can you please just say hello in the chat? Please, I really want you to say hello in the chat, just so I can like confirm that you can hear me. Like, I really would be so grateful. Or if you don't want to make yourself known, can you just press the love heart emoji in the chat, in the live chat? That would be amazing. So not, yeah, in the comments, in the live chat. All right, I'm going to play a video because I want to try it. Cool. Okay. So this is my own. It's my own. Okay, so
or otherwise observed.
Here we go. Cool. I went small. It went big.
Single piece
Yay.
of taillight material, did you?
Yeah. So I just want to try this now.
You certainly didn't see 45.
I can't hear it,
Pieces
so I'm wondering if
of
you can.
taillight material, did you?
No. Did you see 45 pieces of bright red, black, and clear plastic pieces?
Wonder if you can.
See even one piece of broken plastic?
I think I just muted it. Oh my god, I must have clicked myself out. I don't know how I did that. So I'm back. Can you hear me? All right, let's start with that video again. So this is why I was so transparent about this is seriously, oh no, you've gone. You know what? I think I'm going to do, yeah, I'm going to put a video up. You know, I might show you this. I don't know if I've got it.
The phone anyway, without permission. And you'll know that he did because he told his high school buddies that he was searching her phone for nude photos of Karen Reed. And he was disappointed he hadn't found any yet. That is the professional and unbiased investigator who was chosen to lead the investigation into the death of John O'Keefe.
To know if the audio works, yeah?
And you'll know that he did because he told his high school buddies that he was searching her phone for nude photos of Karen Reed. And he was disappointed he hadn't found any yet. That is the professional and unbiased investigator who was chosen to lead the investigation into the death of John O'Keefe.
Okay. There's nobody watching now. Arnold, come here. Come here, babe. Come here. Come on. So, Arnold. Okay. All right, I just got to take my dog wants to go out. I'll be back. I'm going to put this on.
The phone anyway, without permission.
Hopefully you can hear it.
And you'll know that he did because he told his high school buddies that he was searching her phone for nude photos of Karen Reed. And he was disappointed he hadn't found any yet. That is the professional and unbiased investigator who was chosen to lead the investigation into the death of John O'Keefe. phone anyway, without permission. And you'll know that he did because he told his high school buddies that he was searching her phone for nude photos of Karen Reed. And he was disappointed he hadn't found any yet. That is the professional and unbiased investigator who was chosen to lead the investigation into the death of John O'Keefe. But you'll learn that he went through the phone anyway, without permission. And you'll know that he did because he told his high school buddies that he was searching her phone for nude photos of Karen Reed. And he was disappointed he hadn't found any yet. That is the professional and unbiased investigator who was chosen to lead the investigation into the death of John O'Keefe.
Okay, I'm back. So this is Arnold. I've got the virtual background for Arnold. Now, he is not a kangaroo. He's a chihuahua. Good boy. And he's very beautiful. All right, cool. So I just actually checked the stream on my phone when I took Arnold out, and you could hear, but the sound's pretty crap. Hey, I'm gonna have to go and get a proper microphone. Yeah, which is good. I'm excited. Cool. All right, I'm gonna get that out of the road. And the other thing I need to test, and I want to test, so hopefully, is I want to share screen and just have a look. Cool. Yeah. Alrighty. So, I wish I had people in here that were like as into the case as me, and you were all chatting super fast because I am just so want to chat about it. Okay, so
what time do you believe you got to Brian Albert's house that morning after you received the phone call?
Yeah.
People were in shock.
You listened to it.
It would have been, I believe, when Sergeant Lank arrived, and I think Lieutenant Gallagher might have been with him.
Phones, right? And a mic.
You weren't scheduled to work that Saturday, correct?
So that you can.
No.
Matter of fact, you weren't on duty at all.
No, I wasn't.
But you didn't go home and get some sleep or run errands. You went directly to Canton PD from 34 Fairview yet again, didn't you?
Who could sleep after somebody just was discovered like that?
Did you go home?
I don't know.
Or did you?
I don't believe I did, no. I believe there might have been a stop at Canton PD before I went home.
Yeah, that was
Matter of fact,
thing down the bottom.
you didn't just stop at Canton PD. You spent the entire day at Canton PD on the 29th, didn't you?
I hope you can hear
I
it.
don't know that I spent the entire day there, no.
Well, you've got a key card, right?
I do have a key card.
And that key card logs swipes.
That's correct.
So it logs where you go, access to.
Right, I'm going to pause it because I really don't know. It's my first live. I don't want to get like in trouble for viewing too much law and crime, which is like ridiculous anyway, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're not allowed to, so you don't. Cool. All right. So, what can we look at? Let's look at some things. So, this is Karen Reid behind me. If you aren't into the case, I'm going to hopefully assume that you are, or at least familiar. And this is David Unetti. He's a Boston. He's part of her legal team, superstar legal team, and Alan Jackson is her lead attorney from LA. So he's a big shot in LA, which is they're both amazing. So David Unetti did the opening statement a few weeks ago and just like smashed it. He smashed it. I watched it again the other day. I watched the DUI guy Larry's opening statement masterclass, and he kind of does a review like it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Both of it. Larry's good in doing the master, like this is how you do an opening statement, and his commentary is amazing. And the opening statement in itself too is so good. The Adam Lilly is the prosecutor. So he is an ADA, and he is prosecuting the case, and he's just like the most painful person ever to watch in the history of anything. Like I just can't think of anything that would be any more boring. He is. So I have these moments where with this case, I'm like, is it real? Is it just like, what is going on? It's almost like this bizarro world where, but then I'm like, there's like hundreds of thousands, millions of people just as like obsessed as me with it. And so it's like, but what's going on? There's so many anomalies. There's so many, it's corruption, and it's so obvious. The thing is though, is it's only obvious if it's becoming more and more obvious because of the trial now, and because of the noise that's been made. But that's why I think it's really important to go back and kind of catch up on the last year and a half worth of events leading up to the trial. Ultimately, from when in June 2022, when Karen Reid was, she'd already been charged with manslaughter on the 1st of February 2022, I think it was. But really, from June 2022 is when things start going south for her. Her charges are increased to murder 2, so murder in the second degree, from manslaughter, and it's really from there it starts to go south, and it's really it messes with your head, which is why I think it's really necessary to have a community that is kind of on the same page. Like I'd love to go there. I'd love to go to Boston tomorrow and, be able to go and meet everybody and just kind of be around everybody for a few days to kind of, it just seems so far away and so unreal because of the craziness of it too. But yeah, thanks to Tom CPU, it's, we're there every morning and afternoon and with him, and we can watch the trial with heaps and heaps of people. So the trial's actually on here, starts at like 11 p.m. So I'm pretty tired because I have been watching it. I actually can't sleep anyway because I know it's on, and it's too, like, I'm waiting every day, every minute. What's happening next? So The only one I did actually not watch is I didn't watch the Aruba Sisters. I've watched most of it now. I've seen it, like I rewatched, but live, I mean, because when I saw them, I was like, whatever. I knew Lilly would just crap on, and I wasn't interested in these Aruba witnesses anyway, because I think the whole Aruba evidence is like ridiculous. And I didn't want to hear it because it's like stupid, but it adds to the entirety of the bizarro worldness of the case. So anyway, so I'm just going to do a post, I think, in Facebook, because for people to know that I'm live, we need to, I don't know, like I've only don't have many subscribers and stuff, so let me do a post and see if anyone's around. And then, like, it's 1:30 here. So I do need to, oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to share this and see if anyone wants to come and say hello. Okay. I wonder if I could put something on for a bit. I think I can, right? That's mine, though. Oh, yeah. I can play my own YouTube stuff. Hey. Fun. Okay. Let's do that then. While I do this post and see if I can get some people in here, because I'm talking to nobody anyway. Okay. So let's go to, no, not there, I think. No. Okay. There I am. Yay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little difficult to read. I apologize.
Well, okay. So like I only started.
That makes me
6 weeks ago. I was like, you know what? I'm
makes my
just
blood
do it because
No, it doesn't.
I spend all of my time watching
That makes
everybody
me
else.
sick.
And
Sick. And makes my
as
blood.
much as like I will still do that, obviously, because I love it. I'm like, I want to talk about it. So what am I doing? Oh my goodness. Not that one, it's too short. It's funny though. Should I gross this chick? I'll play it now. I feel bad.
That makes me sick. Sick. And makes my blood boil.
No, it doesn't.
That makes me sick. Sick. And makes my blood boil.
I
No,
mean,
it doesn't.
so funny.
No, it
Same as
doesn't.
I haven't finished it. I think I have actually done it.
That makes me sick.
I flipped it. When he's going off at Michael Morrissey. When he released that video, like, it brings me tears because it's just so freaking hilarious. So let me have a look. Did I? No, I mustn't be here. I've got a video, I think, somewhere. This was funny the other day, actually. Emily Baker's funny. I watched a little bit of Emily. Like, I followed her, I think, on Twitter during the Depp trial.
I'm waiting. Please rephrase your question.
As
We'll
far as
we'll see.
Where is it that you typically sit when you go to a basketball game in Canada?
What?
There was a group of 5 parents or so, including us. We generally sat together.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Please rephrase your question.
I can't hear
As
it.
far
I'm
as,
hoping.
where is it that you typically sit when you go to a basketball game?
What?
There
Right.
was a group of 5 parents or so, including us. We generally sat together.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
So
Please rephrase
start
your
again.
question.
I mean, hilarious.
As
We'll
far
s-
as,
we'll see.
Where is
It's
it that
funny.
you typically sit when you go to a basketball
Super
game?
funny.
What?
There
But
was a group of
everyone
5
watches Adam Lally and
parents
they're
or
like,
so,
okay.
including us.
So,
We generally
like all the attorneys, the law tubers, I watch Mel Little, Emily, Ian Runkle. He's hilarious. He's awesome. Peter Tragos, love Peter Tragos, lawyer, you know. Who else? Another one I'm forgetting. Oh, I love Mark Bredero. So Mike has him on the Young Jerks. Yeah, he's a legend. I really, really like him. He wasn't on with Mike yesterday. He was at I don't even know what game. Red Sox, Boston Sox, Red Sox. What is that? I don't know if it's like baseball or. Oh my goodness, I can see my live. That's so funny. Why? Why? Why is it not playing?
Anything back from counsel. I spoke to counsel numerous times. I sent emails. I heard no response as far as that. So as far as the DNA testing is concerned, the delay on that is because I don't have anything back from counsel as far as whether or not they want an expert present, who that expert is, how to contact them, and how to facilitate the beginning steps of that particular testing. So that is why at least in no small part, why some of the items are still contained at the lab is because the testing is still yet to be completed. But I do hope to have the trace and the criminalistics, and I expect that by next week at the latest. And again, whatever deadlines that the court sees fit to or deems fit to put on certain things, as far as that's concerned, is certainly within the court's.
Or Aaron O'Keefe. I thought that was a compassionate move. I thought it was smart. I thought it was respectful. I liked it. There was no need to cross-examine them. It was all kind of fluff, and there was nothing to defend themselves over with those witnesses. So good look. It can be distasteful when the defense attorneys go for the victim's family in the witness box. So I'm glad they didn't do that. Very, very, very impressed. And tomorrow, I keep saying tomorrow. And next up is cross-examination of first on the scene police officer Saraf. Very excited to see his cross-examination and see what the defense have to ask him. Will we get answers to questions that we're all kind of looking for? I'm not sure who else is testifying today, but yeah, keen to hear your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Remember, be nice. And it's okay if you disagree. It's completely fine. I love hearing people's thoughts and opinions as well. And let me know where you're watching from. because that's interesting too. So awesome. Well, enjoy trial day 2. Let me know what you think. Subscribe. I'll come back tomorrow with my thoughts as well. And I will see you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Watch your step up. We've been asking you to remain standing. Space the foot by raising your right hand.
Or Erin O'Keefe. I thought that was very statements. G'day, guys. So the Karen Read murder trial, day 1 is certainly done and dusted. Opening statements were nearly 24 hours ago. We're just about to head into day 2 of the trial, actually, but I promised you that I'd come back with my thoughts on day 1, and here they are. Tell me if you disagree or agree in the comments, but please be nice. I'm really keen to hear if people are thinking the same way that I am after what they saw, or if they're thinking differently. I am yet to watch it in its entirety for the second time. I've watched bits and pieces, but yeah, Adam Lilly started. He is prosecutor for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and is his opening statements were completely lackluster, in my opinion. It was very boring, disorganized. I don't think Lilly practiced or rehearsed this opening statement. I'm not a lawyer, but I do imagine that if you're trying a woman for murdering her boyfriend, and it is high profile and maybe perhaps going to be the trial of your career, that you might put some effort into practicing and getting it down pat, capturing the jurors' attention, being engaging, making sure you're concise, having an organized approach so that the jurors understand a little bit about what you're about to present to them over the coming weeks. I think it was completely the opposite, and I was bored. I was so bored. The only thing that kept me going really were, the chats in the stream, and the hilarity of it all. Because, I mean, if anybody was going to prosecute such a bizarre and twisted and weird case, it would have to be Adam Lilly. I don't think this case would be what it is if it weren't for Adam Lilly. Like, he's just so weird and odd, and right? Like, don't you think, or is it just not to be weird or odd, but it's like it's like he just doesn't care. Yeah, it's freaking strange. I don't know what the go is. Maybe he's just a super boring person. I don't know, whatever. The defense opening statement, well, they were completely opposite. Like, David Yannetti absolutely smashed his opening statements. And there were like revelations of new evidence that nobody has ever heard before. And I'm talking evidence about a botched police investigation, about the lead investigator of the Massachusetts State Police being involved in a cover-up, framing Karen Read, illegally obtaining her phone, seizing her phone and rummaging through it, going through it and sharing with his police officer mates that he was pissed off he didn't find any nudes of Karen Read, sharing that it's okay that John O'Keefe was found on Brian Albert's lawn. He's not going to be touched because Brian Albert's a Boston cop. We also found out, we knew this anyway, Michael Proctor has very close ties with the Albert family. Michael Proctor's mum says the Albert family are like the Proctor's second family. Like, this dude should never have been involved. He should never have been the lead investigator. He was the lead investigator purely to set this poor woman up. She is being set up. It is foul. It is unreal. Like, I cannot believe the reality of this. It's seeing it come to life in, as I said yesterday, in a cohesive manner, in trial, in front of jurors, it's next level crazy. It's like, how in the world has she been accused and we've gone this far with all of this and a federal investigation into the investigation of John O'Keefe's death, it's been confirmed that Michael Proctor, state trooper, is a subject of that investigation. Like, why? How did we get to trial? It's so bizarre, guys. Let me know what you think, because if you're as like blown away as I am. And yeah, after David Inetti clawed back the jurors' attention with his very engaging, passionate, and groundbreaking opening statements, we had our first witness, who was Paul O'Keefe. Paul O'Keefe is John O'Keefe's younger brother. It was a bit of a hard testimony to watch, which it always is with the victim's family. And nothing crazy was uncovered during this testimony. Lally lallied his way through that too. I think he was trying to get to some kind of point that he didn't get to. Paul O'Keefe and his wife, Erin O'Keefe, testified after him. And to be honest, they had nothing but nice things to say about Karen, and that Karen and John had a normal relationship with normal ups and downs, bickering, arguing, nothing crazy, no volatility, no domestic violence. She was a good person to his children. If anything, John O'Keefe complained a couple of times to his family members that she spoiled them too much. So all in all, favourable for Karen Reid's defence, and not so favourable for the Commonwealth. It'd be very interesting to see how we go tomorrow, in an hour, because we finished with the direct examination of Police Officer Zaraf, who was the third witness who testified, and Police Officer Zaraf was the first on the scene after the 911 call. There were some inconsistencies I picked up on from his police report and his testimony, but I do feel like as well he was a bit confused. Lally, again, confused him. He was very vague with his questioning. I did find Lally leading with questioning a bit. I don't know, there was no objections. It'll be interesting though, because defence will cross-examine for the first time. They did not cross-examine Paul O'Keefe or Erin O'Keefe. I thought that was a compassionate move. I thought it was smart. I thought it was respectful. I liked it. There was no need to cross-examine them. It was all kind of fluff, and there was nothing to defend themselves over with those witnesses. So good look. It can be distasteful when the defence attorneys go for the victim's family in the witness box. So I'm glad they didn't do that. Very, very, very impressed. And tomorrow, I keep saying tomorrow. And next up is cross-examination of first on the scene Police Officer Zaraf. Very excited to see his cross-examination and see what the defence have to ask him. Will we get answers to questions that we're all kind of looking for? I'm not sure who else is testifying today, but keen to hear your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Remember, be nice. And it's okay if you disagree. It's completely fine. I love hearing people's thoughts and opinions as well. And let me know where you're watching from, because that's interesting too. So awesome. Well, enjoy trial day 2. Let me know what you think. Subscribe. I'll come back tomorrow with my thoughts as well. And I will see you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Watch your step up. I've been asking you to remain standing. Space the clerk this morning by raising your right hand.
You solemnly swear the evidence given to the court and during the case now and here to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Anytime you're ready, Mr. Lally.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Could you please state your name and spell your last name for the jury?
It's Christopher Albert, Albert.
And where do you live, sir?
I live at 22 Maple Street, Unit L, Canton, Mass.
And how long have you lived there?
Almost 2 years. Sorry, go ahead.
And how long have you lived in Canton?
Since 1974.
And so pretty much your whole life.
Pretty much since I was 4.
And prior to living Maple, where did you live in Canton before that?
7 Meadows Ave in Canton.
And how long did you live at 7 Meadows?
From 2001 to 2021, about 20 years.
And who, if anyone, do you live with now?
I live with my wife, Julie, my oldest son, who just came home from the Navy, my middle son, Colin, and my youngest son, Dylan.
And how long have you and your wife, Julie, been married?
Roughly, gosh, you're going to kill me. 21 years, around 21 years.
You mentioned you and your wife, Julie, you have 3 sons?
Yeah.
And how old are they?
My oldest is 25, my middle is 20, and my youngest is 16.
Now, do you work, sir?
Yes, I do.
What do you do for work?
I'm self-employed. I own a small pizza shop.
What's the name of the pizza?
It's called D&E Pizza.
And how long have you owned that?
25 years this March.
And prior to that, did you work sort of in the same industry?
Same industry pretty much my whole life.
And does your wife work?
She does not.
Does she help out with the D&E Pizza shop?
She does some of this behind the scenes stuff, yes.
Now, when you lived on Meadows Avenue, did you have occasion to become familiar with someone named John O'Keefe?
Yes, I did.
And how is it that you knew John?
So he bought the 1 Meadows Ave, the top house, I don't know exactly, maybe like 2017. So he became my neighbor. And I guess just from me driving by his house and coming home, I saw him, would wave to him and stuff. And that's how I initially became to know who John was.
And you mentioned he bought the house at sort of the top of the street. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's if you're coming off Pleasant, you take a right down Meadows. It's the first on the right.
And then on Meadows Ave, about how many houses are on Meadows?
Well, between us or all, on the whole street, you mean?
First down the whole street and then between.
Yeah, so roughly on that whole street, I would say there's like close to 30 houses from top to bottom on both sides.
And then how about in between 1 and 7?
So there's 2. There's 2 houses between mine and John's.
And your house is both odd numbers. Are they on the same side?
Same side, yeah.
Now, you said that that's how you initially came to know John O'Keefe. How did your relationship sort of go on from there?
So over the years, like he was friendly with some other folks that I was friends with. So we maybe be out occasionally and bump into him, but he would also come to my pizza shop a lot. He would take his nephew, Patrick, in my pizza shop a lot. So it was not uncommon for him to stop by a couple days a week. Usually just grab a slice.
Now, you grew up in Canton, correct?
Yes,
And do you have any siblings?
I do. I have 6.
And what are the names of your 6 siblings?
So my oldest is my older brother, Brian. I have a sister, Kathleen. I have she's older than me. And then I'm next in line. And then I have a brother, Kevin, then a brother, Keith, Brendan, and Timmy. 7 of us.
Where is it that you sort of fit in that sort of?
I'm the 3rd oldest.
Now, your older brother, Brian, what does he do for work?
He's a Boston police officer, or he was. He's recently retired.
And your brother, Kevin, what does he do?
He's a Canton police officer.
And John O'Keefe, were you familiar with what he did for work?
Yes. Yeah, I knew he was a Boston police officer as well.
Now, sir, if I could turn your attention to January 28th, 2022. Do you recall that day?
Yes, I do.
And do you recall what day of the week that was?
It was a Friday, I believe.
And were you working at the D&E Pizza shop on that day?
I was.
And at some point in time in the afternoon, who, if anyone of note, sort of came into D&E?
John came in that day with his nephew Patrick.
And you recall what did they get that day?
I think they just got 2 slices of pizza, if I recall correctly.
And what, if any, conversation did you have with Mr. O'Keefe as far as plans for later in the year?
So he asked me if I had any plans that night, and I said, unfortunately, it's Friday, and I'm working pretty much till close. And I said, but it's my nephew's birthday, and I know a bunch of people are heading out, and I was planning on meeting up with them later when I got out of work. So I think I said to him, I said to him, I'll shoot you a text later if you're around. Maybe we can hook up.
So in that sense, sort of, how would you describe your relationship with Mr. O'Keefe?
Oh, it was a good relationship. Yeah.
Would you consider yourself friends?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, pushing forward on January 28th, about what time was it, if you know, that you sort of closed up shop that night?
So the shop stays open until 10. I know that I left sometime a little bit before 10. I had my wife drop me off some clothes it was like a ritual. She would, because those nights are tough for me to get out early and go home. So she dropped me off some clothes, and I remember just changing quick, washing up a little bit, and then leaving. So I think I left before the store actually closed a few minutes.
Now, during the
Okay. Right. Still have nobody, which is cool. Fine. I'm going to stay live for a bit because I have just done a post on X. And, you know, I'll just see if any of the Facebook groups let me say that I am. It's really hard because, like, I don't know the etiquette. You know, it's like, I don't know whether I don't know. Like, is it not good? I don't know. And everybody, it seems that follows the Karen Reid, like there's so many here in Australia as well, but I've got to find them, right? And so but I know how many I can, and it's not about, like, I actually don't care about the numbers. I just want to talk to one person about the Karen Reid trial. Just one. Like, yeah, have them active in the chat. I'm so sad because I just want to talk to somebody about it, but no. And anyway, so, all right. Let's see if anyone comes in, and let me get something ready in preparation for that to happen. Okay, look at it. Let's do that. Let's have a look at X. See, what's going on here? Okay, cool. Even like trying to use the banners and stuff. I'm like, okay, we'll give it a go. Oh, see, yeah, cool. Yeah, so True Crime Kangaroo is back. That's awesome. And see. Yeah. You have this, right? I'm going to put this on.
You never saw or otherwise observed or located a single piece of taillight material, did you?
No.
You certainly didn't see 45 pieces of broken plastic or taillight material, did you?
No.
Did you see 45 pieces of bright red, black, and clear plastic pieces scattered all over the scene?
I did not.
Did you find even or see even one piece of broken plastic?
I did not.
Someone just came in and had a look. But yeah, it would look pretty boring, really. Literally asking people to come and give up their time to help me. No, I'm actually just asking people to come and talk to me about Karen Reid. That would be great. Yeah. Yeah, with somebody else. Hi. It's my first live, and would love for you to say hello, just so you can confirm that you can hear me. And yeah, I'm just kind of winging it because, yeah, it's my first live, and I'm excited. No, you're gone. People go. I need to probably do something, right? Okay.
Saw or otherwise observed or located a single piece of taillight material, did you?
No.
You certainly didn't see 45 pieces of broken.
Yeah, I kind of don't like it. Like if you're not screen sharing, hey. I think it looks better if you screen share. So look at Chris. I
Or
reckon,
Erin
yeah,
O'Keefe.
like
I thought that was
majorly on the
very,
spectrum. And Colin,
I thought that was a compassionate
majorly,
move. I thought it was smart. I thought it was respectful.
completely. So I thought, you know what I really want to chat about is the fact that Brian Higgins and this, tall, dark man that he saw, that he's just not sure who it was because he didn't really look. And I I was listening today to Lawyer, you know, because, you know, things like pop into your head that you don't think of at the time, and, you know, you think it, you listen to, and nobody said anything. It was just, you know, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, and it just popped into my head. What if it's it's not even true? Because neither Colin nor John were supposed to be at 34th or inside the house, right? They weren't supposed to be there. We know that Colin apparently left sometime between 12 and 12:15. That's the story. And sorry, what am I looking for? And John was never supposed to be there because Karen ran him over and left him to die on the front lawn. So for Brian Higgins to say, I saw a tall, dark man, why would you say that? You wouldn't say it. Even if you thought, who was that? Because you straight away you'd think, okay, well, maybe it was, you know, if it was legitimate, it was Colin, because perhaps he doesn't know Colin, you know, at first glance as very well. But John, he'd been with him all night. Like, he would know if it was John. But unless it was just in the side of his eye and, you know, like peripheral vision, and he's like, but why would you say it? So I actually think, is it too? And this is so, because I was listening to Peter, it wasn't even about what he said, the tall, dark man. It was about, he was talking about the text, right, between Higgins and Karen. And I thought, it's so odd. Did he like her? Doesn't matter. I think he did. He was into her. She obviously she was just, whatever, thought he was hot. But I'm like, I wonder if this tall, dark man is like, not even, well, you probably can't see me either because I'm sharing screen. You can't hear me. Oh my God. That is so funny. That is so funny. Like, seriously.
You never saw or otherwise observed, located a single piece of taillight material, did you?
No.
You certainly didn't see 45
Can you guys hear me?
pieces of broken
You
glass
can't, can you?
taillight material, did you?
No.
You never
Can't
looked,
hear?
Did you see 45 pieces
So
of
funny.
bright red, black, and clear
Okay. Can you hear me now? Hi, I can see a few people on, but I'm like, can you hear me? I was just chatting away when I was sharing the screen. This is why you have to be transparent and tell people that you knew. I'm new. I don't know what to do. So, if you can hear me, it'll be awesome if you like to chat. But I was talking about Higgins and the tall, dark-haired man that he may have seen and he didn't recognize. And it doesn't make sense to me why he would testify that at any time, whether it was, you know, the first hearing or whether it was yesterday. It's like, why? Why would? Because who could it be? It could be John or it could be Colin. And neither of those two men are supposed to be in the house. They're not supposed to be in the house. So for Higgins, who is ultimately a McAlbert, why is he going to say that? So I thought, is this him wrapping reasonable doubt in a gift with a bow for Karen? Because if Higgins was a part of John's death, which I think he was there, right? And so he knows Karen didn't run him over. So there's that moral compass where, I don't know, I just kind of think he's almost screwed either way. Like, if he confesses, if he was involved, he's screwed. If he raps on anybody else, he's screwed. If he doesn't do anything and he keeps doing what he's doing, like he's been doing, he's also screwed because he's not going to get away with all of this because there's lies. And what happened yesterday with the federal charges that could be pending. So, you know, I mean, it's actually really bizarre that he thought it would be a good idea to bring up the tall, dark-haired man. Seems like a bit of a plant, right? Because why would you just wouldn't say it? Because you'd be like, shit, could be Colin, could be John. Neither of them should be in the house. They're both going to get us in the shit. So I'm not actually going to say anything, right? That makes sense to me. Anyway, nobody's chatting with me and saying, wow, I didn't see that. Oh, no, I think it was Colin. I think, come on. How's next week? We're going to have, you know what? I think I was just sharing, which means you wouldn't have been able to hear me that whole time. Even though I'd removed the sharing screen from the stage, I honestly think that I was still sharing, which means it overrides my audio. And I know my audio is not going to be great. I'm just hoping it's okay. That's kind of why I'm just hanging around to see if I get anyone on here that's just going to be like, hey, yeah. My streams will get better and they'll be organized. But I kind of need to work out what I'm doing first, know what I'm doing, and if I'm doing anything wrong. And I need kind of viewers to help me with that. So it's actually really late here. It's 2 a.m. in Australia. But it's kind of normal for me because I'll be watching the trial. And after 3 weeks of trial, my sleep schedule has kind of, yeah. Well, it's not very existent because I work during the day. We have 2 people. Can somebody please? Hi, I'm Lil. Thank you so much for coming and having a look. It is my first live video, so I really just wanting to get like a confirmation in the chat that you can hear me. I would be so grateful. Thank you. 3 people. If you could put a confirmation in the chat that you could hear me, just a yes or a hey, that would be so amazing. This is my first live, as I said, and yeah, I just want to make sure you can hear me. Yeah, so I'm excited that I can go live now, build an audience, and, you know, start getting on here maybe once or twice a week just to chat about, you know, true crime in general, but certainly at the moment, Karen Reid trial. Like, it's just, you need Karen Reid friends. You need Karen Reid trial people to, like, talk to. And if you are there local and you can get to the, you know, the court hearings and stuff, like, oh my goodness, I would be there every morning if I could. I would be there every morning. With Tom, I would 100%. I mean, I am virtually, but yeah, it'd be so good. Just such a gorgeous bunch of community. Yeah, such a gorgeous community. It's a real, yeah, I love it. But yeah, the case obviously in and of itself is just bizarro. And I know a lot of others think about it all the time, you know. So here we go. Oh, I hate it that I can't share my screen and talk. That's what I need a mic for, I guess. Which I knew I would need a mic anyway. Like, I'm not ridiculously silly, but I just haven't got one yet. I think that's right. Or maybe the second monitor, which I do have. It's actually at my brother's place. I need to get it. So I think this dual monitor and a proper mic especially for screen sharing, right? Oh, but this doesn't have sound. If I show you. Anyway, Shauno just posted on X. Sean on the golf, he's amazing. I've actually asked him to have a chat with me live, and he replied and said, yeah, he's going to see how his schedule goes. So I'm so excited because his passion and his what the crap and not being able to finish a sentence because of the passion, because it's almost like your mind is just constantly running so quickly and over all of the stories and facts, and there's so many moving parts. It's so Sean's awesome to watch. He's so good. I've been watching him and Dylan in the mornings as well over on the alternate corner. Dylan's, I think he's in Scotland, maybe he's in Ireland. I feel bad now. Anyways, gorgeous. He's so beautiful. And so him and Sean in the morning, it's like the morning show, Karen Reid trial version. It's so good. So I think it's Boston time at least. They start at 8 a.m. alternate corner. You should check them out. Amazing. So good. And I kind of flick back and forth with the Glera during the day because he's kind of on, more than, like, him and Mike are on so much more than everybody else. So they're kind of the ones that you can go to and hang out with. Whereas, obviously, like, the others kind of only do either the recaps, a couple of times a week, or whereas most days it's very rare for a day to go by without Will or Mike being live, which is savior. Right. I'm going to share my screen and not talk for a second because I don't think you can hear me. Exactly. Yes. Yes. Right. 100%. I thought that today. I didn't even screen share. Maybe I did. I don't know. This is annoying. This is why it would be so good if someone was there going, well, we can't see what you're talking about. I'm going to put it, actually, you know what? I'll put it in the... Oh, and admin approved my post in Turtle Boys OnlyFans. You guys are so amazing. I was worried because I didn't want to be, like, rude, and I didn't, because I know there's always the talk about the grifters, and I'm like, I'm not a grifter. Like, everyone's like, I'm not a grifter. It's like, I don't even care. Like, but it's like, no, I just actually want some Karen Reid friends and to talk about the case with. So, and I have, anyway, so that's pretty cool because there's like that whole group is full of Karen Reid people that will hopefully, that's the cool thing about being in Australia, right? Is that, I've got to put the link in, sorry, in the comments because I didn't want to put it in without their approval of the post first. Gorgeous people. They're so beautiful. See, it's just such a beautiful community, right? It's all about, I love it. I love it so much. I've been thinking about what I'm going to talk about in my lives. And so I'm going to do a plan now that I'm kind of up and running. And, with what the topics will be. And next week will be a good start because, there's only one day of trial. So it'll be good because, there'll be lots of people kind of waiting around going, what are we going to do for the next 4 days, 5, 6, 7 days without any trial? So Well, hopefully I get some viewers. Let's have a look. Might just double check my settings. Audio. Let's test. Test. No. The StreamYard, like mic and speaker testing, is hilarious. It's this like super catchy song. I'll have to find a way to record it and play it so you guys can. It's really funny. Now, I am.
Plastic or tail-like material.
No.
Did you see 45 pieces of bright red, black, and clear plastic pieces scattered all over the scene?
I did not.
Did you find or see even one piece of broken plastic?
I did not.
All right. I'm gonna have to like. Maybe what? Can you edit? Can you edit in StreamYard like once the live video's been live? The stream? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure. Because this is like. Okay, so yeah. I was just reading Sean's X post. It's so funny. But it's so true. I thought that as well today, right? So Higgins didn't check in on Karen. You know how he didn't reply to her on the 29th when she sent the message, John's dead. And he didn't reply. So it's like, oh, okay, you're an asshole. Like, why would you not reply? Because like the least you would do is be like real, oh, wow, shit. Or yes, I've heard because I spoke to you, Brian, or whatever. Like, honestly, put everything else aside. If there's anything you need, let me know. But nah, not even nothing, no acknowledgement. That to me is consciousness of guilt. 100% in my mind. And it took me again when I was listening to Lawyer, again, and I was listening to the Young Jacks all afternoon too. So it took me hearing it live and then listening a few times to recap some stuff, and it just doesn't make sense that he wouldn't write back to Karen on the 29th after receiving that message, John's dead. You'd acknowledge it. You don't have to be nice to her. You don't have to like stretch. If you're pissed off because she didn't, she ghosted you for 6 days or whatever, now it's actually like a tragedy. So just acknowledge it. like a normal person. But you know why he didn't? Because, yeah. Because they know what happened. There is no way in the world, even if you're, like, if my, I don't know, friend that I hadn't spoken to in 5 years called me and gave me news in that capacity or messaged me, I'd be like, oh, shit, you know, like, you just would not engage unless you had something to do with the fact that John is dead, which we know he did, 100%. So they're the two things that kind of came in my mind this afternoon that I didn't think of immediately while watching Higgins on the stand. So the tall, dark man that came into the house that he didn't see or recognize, again, like, whatever. It's almost like that complete bullshit because there's no gain. There is no gain. Very weird. It's either got to be Colin or John, right? So, pretty funny. What else? I mean, we know Mike was saying today on the Young Jerks that he reckons, you know, his proffer was ratting on his best friend who helped him with his phone extraction. It's not much of a deal. It's got nothing to do with information surrounding what happened inside 34 Fairview between 12:24 and 6:04 a.m. So I don't know. I don't know about that. Like, it's not like it's a big breaking thing that they're going to get. It doesn't weigh up. So I don't think that Higgins has given any, or he hasn't flipped. You know why? Because he's scared. The other thing that happened that I loved was when AJ Owen Jackson said that Chief Berkowitz also said that he was a little bit scared of Brian Albert. I loved that. And Higgins actually, like, he shit his pants. He did not like it. And then Auntie Bev called her an immediate sidebar. And I thought, nah, I love it. I didn't care that it was stricken from the record, and you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So I kind of love that. I love it because Brian Albert would have heard it. Everyone would have heard it. Berkowitz would have heard it. Excellent. It's like, I love it. That's what we live for, right? Is seeing these assholes be... It's so frustrating. I cannot imagine being Karen. I cannot. I watch her in the courtroom and I think, you are so strong and, like, stoic. She's actually amazing. And don't get me wrong, I know she's been living and breathing it for 2.5 years. And that would, the resilience that she would have built is kind of, but this is the anger, the frustration that I feel, you know, that's nothing, you know, like, compared to her and her family. It's pretty bad. Like, it's so bad. It's really bad. Yeah. We're watching, I believe, and I said this to a friend the other day, who's now Karen Reid, obsessed, Karen Reid trial, and just said, we are watching history in the making. This will go down as one of the most scandalous corruption, cases of corruption in America. I bet. I'm positive, because it might take years. It could certainly take years. I hope it doesn't. Not for Karen, I mean for the corruption side of it, for it to all be. But, I mean, look at the locals. They're not going to forget. They're not going to forget. It's not going to stop when the Karen Reed trial's over. Kenton looks like just such a beautiful place. It's so quaint and gorgeous. It's like something out of a storybook. Yeah. Yeah. It's a nightmare. It shouldn't be a trial. It just shouldn't be. It's wrong. What else? Geez, Jen McCabe. That's what I mean. Like, how is this real? And the amount of, I was thinking today, actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do maybe a short or something about all of the phone, now that we've got the witnesses on the stand, and I can do kind of clips of it, all the witnesses that have claimed that the phone records are not correct. And it's like, yeah, cool, okay. So all of the McAlberts claim that the phone records are incorrect. And it's 2024, and they all used iPhones. It was 2022 then. And, but hey, the phone records, no. They're wrong. They're just wrong. And it must have been a butt dial. Okay, well, no. If maybe one witness said that a butt dial happened in this case, like if we had one witness that said it must have been a butt dial, honestly, I just did not speak to him or her, you kind of be like, yeah, okay, maybe. But Julie did speak to Jen at 4:53, and Nicole didn't speak to Jen at 6:04, and Brian Albert didn't speak to Higgins at 2:22. There's just so many, and all of them are like, no, I didn't get a call, no. But you answered it. The records show that the call was answered. Nah, it's not right. Oh, it kind of, like, it is right, though. It is right. All right. No one's watching. I think I probably will get off because I am actually super tired. I think I need to look at the camera more too. Hopefully, I wonder if I've got any feedback. Hopefully it's nice. Maybe they're saying we can't hear you and I haven't even looked. So funny. It just would happen though. So speaking of, you know what I was thinking about the other day too? And there's often times where I think, wow, that all fits. And I've spent 3 or 4 hours, you know, in the with the phone records and the timelines and rewatching testimony and stuff. And then I realize if I post it, then it's, you know, people are like, yeah, for sure. And I'm like, but I just love doing it anyway. So everyone asked where John's phone was. And if my workings are correct, Lank would have his phone. Because, so we know Kerry obviously got it from where John was at 6:04. And then Kerry can't remember who she gave it to, because it's not important or anything, Kerry, to like be careful with the man on the snow that is dead to just make sure that we know where you put his cell phone. But she didn't know where it was. And this is what annoys me, because if it was me, and I hope it never is me in that position, I'd be like, no, I'm not fucking giving this phone to anybody. I am going to like put it into airplane mode right now, or whatever. You might not think like that at the time. Just you put it on you. Well, I would, and be like, no. And but I guess I've got that personality. Maybe Carrie doesn't. I had somebody like Jen saying, "Give me the phone, give me the phone," I'd be like, no, I've got the phone because I'm going to give it to authorities like straight away. Because let's say even it wasn't a big cover up, I just couldn't. Like, why give it to Jen? Because she would have insisted. She would have insisted, right? But then when old lanky boy rocks up and Jen and Lank have a conversation out of sight of where the dash cam is for nearly 9 minutes, it's just before Jen goes in the house, and just before Lank comes and joins the group, the rest of the first responders, after he's had his little, chat out of view with McCabe, and then he gets the phone call like 30 seconds after that. He kind of walks out of distances himself from the rest. And it's not just distancing yourself because you can't hear. It's like literally being evasive, getting away so that they're not hearing what you're saying. It's foul. Anyway, he had John's phone in his pocket then, I believe. I also think you can see him reach for it in his pocket. But I kind of watched it a couple of times, and then it was like, you're never going to see this. I might try and actually make it better quality and see. But John's phone's movements are in sync with what Lank would have done after 7:30. Oh, sorry, after 6:34. When Jen goes into the house, she's just given Lank the phone with Brian Albert's the screenshot of Brian Albert's contact, because she called Coco at 6:08:17, I think, off the top of my head, and then spoke for 7 minutes, 7 seconds, sorry. Then takes the screenshot of Uncle Brian Albert, and then, so that's, then what did she do? I am getting tired, oh my God. What did she do? Oh, sorry, no, that's when Sergeant Good rang Lank at 6:08. So then Lank gets there at 6:34. Sorry, 6:24. Speaks to Jen behind the vehicle, Kerry's vehicle, I believe, out of sight of a dash cam. Jen goes into the house. Lanky boy comes over to the rest of the group. So he's got John's phone then, I believe. I reckon that's where Jen's given it to him then. And I think that the screenshot of Brian Albert's number was for Lank as well. Because then the phone call comes that he's being sus about. And then the footsteps on John's phone kind of seem to line up with like the activity with what Lanky Boy was doing. Because I also think that Lanky Boy went straight from 34 Fairview. He left there at 7:30 or 7:31. And I reckon that's when he's gone to Meadows. He was there for about 10 minutes, messed with the tail light, headed back to CPD, and good to go. So I reckon it'd be so good if we could get the GPS from John's phone. It's a guarantee he went back home after he was passed away with Lank. It's just all so messed up. It's so sad. All right. I'm going to have to go soon. Weary, very weary. And my throat's getting sore. Back to Sean's thing, X post. Yeah, it's not what you do, it's what you don't do that catches you. Don't be fooled by this insecure fraud. I'm not sure. He knows his days are numbered. And yeah, the fact that he didn't check in on Karen after that message is very telling. More telling than I thought at the time that I heard it. And the meeting at Sharon. What's the go with that? Can't pin down where he was at 120 until 127. Come on, no way. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I've actually done, I'll show you, hi, if you're just joining, I hope you can hear me because I'm just this is my first time live and I just want to make sure I'm just kind of hanging out here and talking about random things, and I just want to make sure that whoever is having a quick, you don't have to stay. Don't feel obliged to say, to stay if, you say hello and I know it just, a yes would be amazing. I'm going to hop off shortly anyway because I'm super tired. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I've made this graph which has the times and I'll just show you. Oh, that's weird. Maybe I can't. Because it's a spreadsheet. Maybe you can't screen share spreadsheets. I thought you could screen share whatever you wanted to, though. Yeah, this is why we practice and we are transparent. Okay. Yeah, it's there. It's open. You know what I could do is save it as a picture, I reckon. And yeah, this is good actually. This is a good reference to have on there. So let's have a look. Save this picture. All right. Really save. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to try and upload that now as a pic. And I don't know. Maybe I can't. Okay. Upload. I don't know if that'll work. No. How can I do this? Hang on. It's quite annoying. What's this? Let me show you this. Yeah, so this was actually when I mean, obviously it's a map, right? And it's just from 34 Fairview to John's house. And I was going to, which I haven't done yet. Why is it? I really don't understand. Okay, there it is, right. I say the CPD is actually way closer. Interesting. Sorry, I'm half talking to myself, aren't I? All right. Okay, I'm just going to remove the screen that I was sharing because I actually don't think you guys can hear me when I'm sharing the screen. So everything I was just saying anyway. I just wish I had a few people saying, yeah, we can hear you, or no, we can't. But I'll watch it back and see. Kind of why I didn't really put much thought into what I was going to talk about while I was doing the kind of test, because yeah. All right. Okay. Now, I might be able to do it this way and show you that actually. Sorry, I won't be long. I'm just trying to find the little chart that I was telling you about that I did read Jan McCabe's heart rate. This is what I mean. This is why I like practice is good, hey, and just telling people you don't have to hang around. I just want to, but I would love actually just someone to confirm that my sound's working. Maybe it's not working, which is why I've got no one saying it's not working, because you can't hear me say, is it working? How funny. Okay. It's all good anyway, right? Like, I mean, it's seriously not. Maybe it didn't save. So freaking annoying. All right, if we go here. Oh, there it is. Cool. Okay. Okay. Is that working? It's not, because I can't see it. Right? Oh my goodness, I was sharing the screen. Wow. Please. Okay. No. I promise I'll get really good. I will get really good. Like, I actually promise. I promise. Okay. There's that. You can't see me. That's so funny. It doesn't matter if you can't see me for a sec. Okay, cool. So, it'd be good if I could see, though. Hey, yay. Hi, Dusty. You sound fine. It's almost 1 o'clock. You might not get, other than that, you come through fine. Keep on. Oh, yeah, I'm so grateful that you came on and said hi. You legend. Dusty McChode. I love, your name is hilarious. So funny. I think I follow you on Twitter. Yeah, X, whatever. So anyway, this here, now that I've got it up, it's nothing pretty, but it just, I refer to it all the time, right? So the times are down below. This isn't the whole thing, I don't think. And then Jen's, this is, well, basically the chart is Jen's heart rate, Jen McCabe. And so it's interesting because clearly the spike is here, which, yeah, is around the 6:48 mark, which I know you can see on the table. It's just interesting sometimes to kind of see it, and I study it a lot to see the rise and the fall, particularly when it's in quick succession, because I think, you know, for example, like your blood pressure can kind of slow right down, right, when you panic or have anxiety. And so anyway, I find this kind of stuff quite interesting. And, you know, I mean, her peak was, you know, around 6:48. So what happened? What was happening at 6:48? Lank was still there. And maybe Higgins was nearly there, if that's even true. All right, I'm just going to take that off for a second because it's throwing me off. There's got to be a better way to do it. Oh. Yeah, so 6:48 was the peak of her heart rate. I have seen people talk about this before plenty of times with their, like, why did it peak so high then? You'd think that it would have been peaking kind of around the, I don't know, like 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock, like 6:04. It just seems like, or like, I don't know, I just feel like it's such a strange time for it to peak. What happened at 6:48? Does anyone know? Am I missing something? As I said, Lank was there. Everyone had kind of left. Maybe that's when she was grabbing a glass out of Coco's kitchen just before someone smashed it and then pegged it from one of the windows upstairs, pegged it down to where John was lying. I wonder when they put the shoe and the hat back out. I reckon they threw them too. Out of a car maybe too. Because they weren't going to go. Even like Brian Albert, how he says, why would, you know, everything was under control. There was no need for me to go back out to the scene. It's like, no, dude, but a guy just died, a friend. You can call him whatever you want. Ultimately, he was a mate. Sure. A mate from a distance, fine, whatever. That had come round and he was found dead on your front lawn. And you didn't actually go out there at all. I'm not talking about when it first happened. He got asked when he was on the stand, did you go back out there at all on that day, on the 29th? No. Right. You didn't, like a guy died on your front lawn and you didn't go out there? No, well, I didn't say it was under control. They had it under control. everybody was gone, it was all over, there was no need for me to go out there. Like, no. I just can't imagine. But, you know, wouldn't you say, absolutely not, I did not go back out there due to the weather conditions. I had been strictly instructed by state troopers, we were not to go there. We were not to go into that area. But instead, what he says is, there was no need to go out there. There was no need. Everything was taken care of. Everyone was gone. Nothing I could do over there. But it's like, wouldn't you just be interested to go and have a look? Everything about what everybody has done on the McAlbert side in this case is so wrong. Everything, nothing. And the more that we hear, the more that we have that doesn't add up. It's almost like, as Sean said in his X post before, it's almost like it's not what they're not going to do is actually going to be, they're going to be the puzzle pieces. Okay, so what did they not do? Or what do they say they, didn't do? And they're going to be the puzzle pieces. So you're just putting it together backwards, inside out, over years. There's no way. When I was watching Higgins testify on direct, which was so difficult, Lilly is he's so hard. He's so hard to get through. But it's like, on direct, you just can't. You can't. There's nobody on direct that has ever not got their back up straight away once they get questioned by defense. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I've tried to think about if I was one of the witnesses that didn't do anything wrong, that was completely innocent. Because it's their job too to maybe discredit me, or at least be prepared to discredit me or impeach me, just in case. I don't know. And I guess you would get a little bit, you get a bit pissed off if you knew that you had done nothing wrong, but at the same time, yeah, it's hard, super hard. Ruby, you're so sweet. You do not have to come back and watch the replay. It really isn't riveting. It is literally me hanging around and talking rubbish while I wait for people to come on and tell me that they can hear me. Gorgeous. So yeah, that is lovely. Because, oh my God, it would be the worst. It would almost be like the equivalent to watching Lilly. Watching this for 2 hours back to front, don't. I might even put like a thing on it to say, this was a test. No need to watch. But yeah. So yeah, it just keeps on going. I'll have a lolly. Now, Sean said, sorry, I'm trying to eat this. Sean said yesterday that it was confirmed that Lilly was seen talking to two feds. I can't remember where he said he was. And asked the viewers if they thought Lilly could be working with the feds. I don't know. I mean, he's 88, right? He's going to have people that he knows that work for the FBI or the federal agencies. whether it's from college or like friends and family or just work from, maybe 10 years ago. But the way that Sean was saying it was almost like, the tip that he had got or whoever had said it perhaps knew that the feds that he was seen with wouldn't. Yeah. Interesting. Because the trial can't be fake. Right? You couldn't possibly do that to everybody. So it's not. It can't be. Because it can't be. You can't do that to jurors unless they're acting, which is this is what goes through my head sometimes, where I'm like, yeah, they can't do that because but then that have you guys has anybody watched that show? Jury Duty? So good. It's so good. Like hilarious. I watched it in one night last year when it first came out. It's so good. I reckon it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. The funniest show. I laughed so hard. So unless it's a reality TV show that like millions of people have been tricked into, like it can't be, can it? So it's real. And honestly, both ways, they're equally as nuts. So yeah, I don't know about Lilly working with the feds. I actually think Bev might be. Not so maybe with, but definitely yeah. I think she knows what's going on, and I think she knows yeah, way more than what she has to. Yeah. And I really don't know about Brian Higgins proper being just that he flipped on he ratted on his best mate. I just don't, like it's not it's a federal offence, but it's not, and it's not great, but it's not at the core of the John O'Keefe murder investigation. Like that offence, I mean. The act of doing it, is it sneaky? It's all of everything. But his mate getting in trouble and like that being a part of the proffer they'd be like, whatever, yep, we'll give him he will get a smack on the bum for doing that, but we want you, buddy. Don't try and rat on him. I mean, I don't know how it works, but there is no proffer, as in there's no flipping on the McAlbert. He's not flipped on the McAlbert. No. Crazy. Because he's scared of Brian Albert. I don't know why. Like, why is he scary? Why? He's a loser. He's an absolute loser. He's not scary. He's no scarier than, I just get it. I want to know why he's so scary. To other men in positions of power themselves based on their testimonies, which is all I can base both Higgins and Albert on, because I live on the other side of the world and I have no idea what they're like outside of the court. But based on their testimonies, Higgins looks like he would flog Albert, and Albert looks like a bum that drinks all the time and and would literally not give a crap about anybody except for himself and his family, of course. And he would screw anybody over. And Nicole Albert, well, she looks like she's about to break. She looks bad. I felt really sorry for her when I rewatched. I didn't feel sorry for her, but I thought, you're broken. She's got no spirit. And she may not have had any spirit before the 28th or 29th of January 2022, don't get me wrong. But, yeah. And Jan, well, she's like got the intellectual capacity of a 5-year-old, maybe 8. The way her behavior on the stand was stupid. It was stupid. It wasn't even it wasn't combative in an intelligent way. You could go on the stand and be combative with a defense attorney that wants to grill you. But you've got to keep yourself in check in terms of just the way that you present yourself. And the way I think she thinks she did a really great job. I reckon that she thinks I do, because she wouldn't be smart enough to know otherwise. She's not smart enough to realize, oh wow, I really lost my cool. Look at me, I look really stupid screeching at Alan Jackson like that. I think she'd watch it back and be like, yeah, I really got him. Yeah. Don't worry, Uncle Brian. Got your back. Don't worry, Proctor Trooper. I mean, how funny that she said Proctor Trooper pretty much twice. Cracked up at that. Again, it's nervousness. It's nervousness. Proctor Trooper is purely getting kind of caught by surprise when Alan brings him up, and then she can't say his name and says it round the wrong way. Gold. They're the moments I really love, because they're the bits, that's the behavior I love seeing in trials, because that's when you can kind of go, I'll remember that, because it looks like you're being deceitful. Your body language says a lot more, in my opinion, and I'm not a body language expert either, than your words. So, and the jurors, wow, being so physically close to her when she was screeching, when she was screeching, particularly about the victim. Wow. He was my friend. He was my friend. And we were in shock. And it's like, well, yes. Yep. And we've had such a terrible 2 years. I mean, you can say that in such a dignified way rather than squawking at the way she did. It would be kind of normal to just sort of be like, yeah, it's been a really hard 2 years. Terrifying. Or whatever words she wanted to use. Yeah, it's been really hard. There's been a lot of, misinformation, and that has caused our family so much angst. It's just such a horrible situation. We just want this to be over as much as everybody else. And we want the right person brought to justice that took our friend that night. That's what you would say if you're an innocent person. That's what you would say. Just like Brian Higgins messaging back Karen Reid on the 29th. Why would you not message back? Why? Because he had a hand in his death. That's why. It's like if people don't know how to be, it's not. Anyway. All right. I think I'm going to go. I'm so happy that Dusty and Ruby came and gave me their feedback. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for that. It's awesome. And yeah, I know it's the middle of the day over there, which is kind of good because I wanted to get in at not a very busy time, and obviously not when like the any of the other, Glera or anyone else was on. So that's good, and I'm excited. I did the first one. So what I'm going to do next time, well, I'm going to schedule it, right? So I'm going to schedule one and push it out there more on social. Now that I've had a bit of a run, I'm going to get a proper mic too before the next one. But anyway, and I'll schedule it. So I will put the notification out on Facebook and X and obviously on YouTube. So hopefully you did subscribe and you'll come back and you'll see my live notification. And I will try and like schedule it too so that it's probably at a more quiet time over there because it makes sense, I think. But there are times when, there's a bit of a lull and in the Facebook group, someone will be like, oh, is anyone going live tonight? I think especially when your Saturday night, because Turtle Boys, I know he's live your Saturday night this time for Turtle Club, right? Yeah, Turtle Club. So, but sometimes nobody's live on the Saturday night, whether they're out or watching footy or baseball or whatever it is. I don't know. What is it, baseball? I don't know. What's the Boston Red Sox? I'm not sure. But I have no idea with sport. Like, I really don't. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'll keep an eye out for too. If there's nobody else and there's people that want to jump on, it's good because of the time difference. So I can kind of slot in at non-prime times for those that are keen to hop on. So it's good. All right, I'm out. Thank you so much for everybody that came and said hi, and I will see you soon.